চন্দে আরতিক শোভা। জাহ্নবী তটবানে জগমন লোভা। জাহ্নবী তটবানে জগমন লোভা। জয় শ্রী কৃষ্ণ চৈতন্য প্রভু নিত্যানন্দ শ্রী অদ্বৈত গদাধর শ্রীবাসাদি গৌর ভক্তবৃন্দ। জয় শ্রী কৃষ্ণ চৈতন্য প্রভু নিত্যানন্দ শ্রী অদ্বৈত গদাধর শ্রীবাসাদি গৌর ভক্তবৃন্দ। জয় শ্রী কৃষ্ণ চৈতন্য প্রভু নিত্যানন্দ শ্রী অদ্বৈত গদাধর শ্রীবাসাদি গৌর ভক্তবৃন্দ। কৃষ্ণ হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে হরে। Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Gaura Hari. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Gaura Hari. Jaya Sachinandana Gaura Hari, Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hari. Jaya Sachinandana Gaura Hari, Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hari. Kali Yuga Pavana Gaura Hari, Kali Yuga Pavana Gaura Hari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan Radhe. गोपीनाथ राधे जय सीताराम जय लक्ष्मण हनुमान सीताराम जय लक्ष्मण हनुमान जय निताय गौर सुंदर जय गौरा हरि निताय गौर सुंदर जय गौरा हरि निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल गौर हरि बोल जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद जय जगद्गुरु शिला प्रभुपादा जगद्गुरु शिला प्रभुपादा जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय गुरुदेव जय गुरु प्रेमानंदे
जय Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Astotra Sata Sri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnupad Sri Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Brinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Sikaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Shri Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Ganga Mayi Ki Jai Jamuna Mayi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Tulasi Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta Brinda Ki Jai Gaur Premanandi All glories to the assembled devotees All glories to the assembled devotees All glories to the assembled devotees All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga
Namaste Narasimhaya Namaste Narasimhaya Pralada Lada Daide Shilatan Khalaye Ito Nrsimha Parato Nrsimho Ito Nrsimha Parato Nrsimho Yato Yami Tato Nrsimha Bahe Nrsimha Hridaye Nrsimha Bahe Nrsimha Hridaye Nrsimha Narasimham Adim Sharanam Prapade Narasimham Adim Sharanam Prapade Tava Kara Kamala Varenakam Adbhuta Shinga Dalita Hiranya Kashipu Tami Bringa Te Shavadhrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Tava Kara Kamala Shavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya Nrsimha Dev, Jai Nrsimha Dev, Jai Nrsimha Dev, Jai Nrsimha Dev. Jaya Bhakta Prahlad, Jai Bhakta Prahlad, Bhakta Prahlad, Jaya Bhakta Prahlad. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radhe Jai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Sagadev Bhagavan ki Prahlad Maharaj ki Jai Gaur Premanand.
Hare Krishna. welcome everybody. I'm so happy you're here. The curtains will close in a few minutes, and that way we'll all face in this direction. Jai Shri Shri Gaurnitai Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan Ki. Okay, so wonderful you're all here, and we are momentarily going to hear from His Holiness Radha Swami. And then afterwards we have some wonderful prasadam downstairs for everybody. So please stay, the night is young. We have some chairs also, and we can get extra chairs for those who might want to sit on a chair. Okay? Right, so while we're waiting, just please take a moment to welcome and thank the person next to you. The person behind you, and the person in front of you. Who is here that does not know His Holiness Radha Swami? So, Maharaj doesn't need any introduction. We don't know what is not said, but we are so honored and so grateful that he was able to be here tonight to share some time with us and to speak a little Hari Katha. So, without further ado, we would love to invite Maharaj to the Vyasa Sangha. Thank you.
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajachanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajachanaranjana Jamuna Thira Banachari Jamuna Thira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajachanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajachanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajachanaranjana Jamuna Thira Banachari Jamuna Thira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Om Gyantimidandasya Gyananjana-chalakaya Chakshurun militam jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Judha Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajataham Sahagana Raghunathan Vidam Tham Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakan Vidamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Binda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirbhishesha Shunyavadi Astatyate Sakharine. Hare Krishna. I am sincerely grateful and honored to be with you this evening. Actually, I have come to this Washington, D.C. area for one simple reason. To offer my gratitude to each and every one of you for building this wonderful, beautiful, historic temple in the service of Srila Prabhupada and our Guru Parampara. Thank you very much. It's truly wonderful. When Srila Prabhupada departed from Vrindavan in 1965, he took that Jaladuta cargo ship, especially to the United States of America, specifically New York, because It was his mission. It was his life and soul to share the teachings of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with the entire world. Where Srila Prabhupada was living, he described Radha Damodar Temple in Vrindavan to be the capital of the spiritual world, the center of the spiritual world. But following in the footsteps of his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, he chose, out of his compassion, to come to the country which is the capital of Maya, or the illusory energy. As they pray, God bless America. The mood in which you say that could be many ways. It could be out of pride, or it could also be out of very deep compassion. God bless America. But either one, as long as we're praying for God's blessings, is auspicious. And how happy, how proud it was for Srila Prabhupada to be invited here to this area of Washington, D.C. Is this the same back of Vyasa-san that was originally here?
A replica.
It's a replica. So it's like a deity of the original. Wonderful. And the deities of Madan Mohan, to see how all of you have worked so hard and offered so many prayers and chanted so many holy names to offer them a beautiful home to live in. And a beautiful home where so many people from everywhere could come to be with Sri Sri Radha Madan Mohan, Gornitai, and Hanuman, Lakshman, Sita, and Ramchandra. So much suffering, division, anguish, and inevitable birth, old age, disease, and death exist in the world today. For the simple reason, because of forgetfulness of our relationship with God, with Krishna. We're seeking to be attracted to something. The scriptures describe that Krishna is all attractive. That is what the name Krishna means, all attractive. not a sectarian idea. It's the universal principle of the absolute truth. When we speak about God being great, God is the origin of all greatness and the supreme unlimited great in every way. Yes, God's greatness, He's all-powerful. He creates all universes. Ultimately, He destroys all universes. He's the proprietor of everything that exists, that ever existed, and that will ever exist. His fame is sung everywhere, in one mood or another. But the supreme power of God is revealed especially in its completest way in Krishna, which means all attractive. More powerful than creation and destruction, more powerful than strength, unlimited, is Krishna's beauty, Krishna's love, Krishna's compassion. And of course, some people are attracted to God because He's father and mother of everything that exists. In Vrindavan, people think Krishna is the son of Yashoda and Nanda. Nobody sees him as creating anything. They love him limitlessly because they fully have realized his love for them, which is manifested in his revealing unlimited supreme beauty, charm, sweetness through his pastimes, through his form. As the soul is part and parcel of Krishna, the soul is seeking that attraction. Srila Prabhupada describes in one explanation of the name Krishna, Krishna is like a magnet. And little metal filings are naturally, if you see. Sometimes when we're children, we play with magnets. And when you put the positive side close to the negative side, what happens? Attraction. And if you put the positive side close to the positive side, it goes away. When, to the degree we understand God is great and put Krishna in the center, because God is great and in the center, we're attracted. But to whatever extent we put ourselves in the center, in ignorance of our true nature, then we go farther and farther away. But we're all looking to be attracted. when we forget our spiritual identity, we have to find attraction somewhere. We look for attraction by trying to be attractive. Yes, because the misconception is when you're attractive, then you attract. Does that make sense? So we're attracted to beauty, so we want to look beautiful, so we can attract beauty. And so we could fulfill our desire to be attracted to beauty. And strength, knowledge, wealth, fame, renunciation. The whole world is seeking that which is attractive, seeking to attract, and somehow or other defending whatever little we have. How much people strive for power, to have influence over others. And in a society where Maya is deluding us, then we actually think that's attractive. We're attracted to that experience of trying to be like God, having tremendous amount of knowledge. I think the cosmetic industry is a very multi-billion-dollar endeavor. And people are somehow or other trying to look more beautiful. And as time passes, we're trying to cover up whatever doesn't look beautiful. And in some places, even after you're dead, somebody puts all kinds of cosmetics on you so that you could look nice. I'll never forget, when I was in grammar school, I think 8th grade, one of my best friends, his father was the chief of police, and he was always in anxiety. And he died. So I went there to be with my friend, and I'm standing next to him beside the coffin. And so many people went to see him because, the whole police force was there. And everyone was telling my friend the same thing. He never looked so good. He looked so peaceful. And I started getting philosophical standing there in that funeral. He never looked so peaceful. What does peace really mean? Give peace a chance, in this sense, means die. Because there's nothing to be not peaceful about, apparently. So how much effort to attract people to our beauty, and then we can, by attracting beauty, we can be attracted to beauty. When we forget Krishna's supreme opulences. Then we try to find it in a world where everything is temporary, everything is changing, and everything is so limited. Because everything's so limited, we're all competing over what? Competing over who has more knowledge, more strength, more wealth, more power, more beauty. Defending. Krishna's name is Madan Mohan. Because Madan, which sometimes in Western terminology is identified as Cupid or Kamadev, is all these misconceptions of what's attractive that everyone is allured by. And actually, in a conditioned state, it is impossible to sustainably resist the attractions of the illusory energy. Unless we experience param dristva nivartate, the higher taste. To the extent we're attracted to Krishna, we become detached from all of the attractions that are misconceived by the mind and the false ego. So this is the sambandha, or the beginning state of bhakti. To understand God as Madan Mohan, the all-attractive. Beyond all the attractions of this world, the heavenly worlds, beyond all the attractions of the Brahmajyoti, the all-pervading spiritual light of the spiritual sky, beyond even the attractions of the supreme absolute truth, Narayan, is Madan Mohan. And unless our attraction is drawn toward God, then it will irresistibly be attracted to something or other in Maya, or in this illusory world. And as long as we have these attractions, dukkhalaya mashashratam, we must suffer. And as long as we are striving in our life with all of our God-given resources to attract other people to our illusions, then we're actually just perpetuating other people's suffering. Madan Mohan, we establish our relationship with the Supreme Truth by understanding that the Lord is all attractive. Kali Kale Namarupe Krishna Avatar. Krishna descends in this age in the sound vibration of the holy names. Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktish. My dear Lord, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is praying, you have invested all of your all-attractive potencies and powers in your holy names. And you have many names. From your different incarnations in your different forms, from different scriptures, from your different pastimes, from your various eternal relationships with your devotees. And in each one of these names, your supreme opulences and your ultimate opulence of being the all-attractive lover and object of love is manifesting. But then that magnetic idea, Lord Chaitanya concludes this verse. He says, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction at all for your holy names. You see, when you think you have no attraction, you attract the all-attractive. When you think you're very advanced, then you repel. You are repelled by the power of the false ego. By chanting Madan Mohan's holy names, by hearing the pastimes of the Lord, by coming to the temple to see the beautiful form of the Lord, by utilizing our identity and whatever we may have connected to that identity in the mood of a servant of the Lord, we become attracted. In fact, Srila Prabhupada describes it in a very simple way. He quotes Rupa Goswami, that Krishna is all attractive, but bhakti, devotional service, attracts Krishna. How can the all-attractive be attracted? Materially, this is an inconceivable principle. And it's so inconceivable that when we become intellectual and philosophical, we actually think we could conceive it. Just the thought that a little jiva, mamaivam so jiva loke, a tiny little fragmental part and parcel of Krishna, can think anything about Krishna is conceivable, is actually inconceivable. Why? Because Krishna is inconceivable. And actually, because Maya is Krishna's energy, Maya is inconceivable. And the jiva is Krishna's part and parcel, the jiva is inconceivable. Everything's inconceivable. But yet, a little particle that has love and devotion and are willing to serve Krishna, a little particle, the entire absolute truth is attracted to that love. We may try to get closer to God through knowledge, jnana, through pious deeds, karma, the various forms of meditation, dhyan, yoga. But Patanjali Rishi describes in his Yoga Sutra, Samadhi Siddhi Ishvara Pranidhana, that the supreme perfection of samadhi, or the ultimate goal of yoga, is to surrender to Ishvara, to surrender to God. Because although we're so small, because love is so powerful, in the order that it attracts Krishna. Sam Siddhir Haritoshana. The supreme perfection of whatever we do is to please Krishna. That's bhakti. Bhakti means to please Krishna. Through our thoughts, as far as possible. That's why we try to focus on cleansing our mind by the chanting of God's names and hearing Krishna's teachings and pastimes and absorbing our mind through all of our senses and cultivating attraction to Krishna. Our thoughts, our words, our actions, whatever resources, its actual value from a spiritual perspective is how we're pleasing Krishna. If Krishna's pleased, even if we lose everything materially, our life is a perfect success. And if Krishna's displeased, whatever the world may conceive, we've actually failed in our real purpose. Madan Mohan is here in this Washington, D.C. Potomac area to attract the entire universe. Srila Prabhupada, in one beautiful talk, he explains how Madan Mohan is so all-attractive. And one of the greatest ways that we can attract Madan Mohan is helping other people be attracted. Aham bija pratapita. Krishna is the father and mother of every living being. And however reckless and wayward we may be, Krishna still loves us as a child. And to help others to know God and to love God attracts Krishna. And Madan Mohan, on the altar here, you have built this beautiful temple. Oh, I was saying, Srila Prabhupada says in this lecture, Krishna is all attractive. In the form of Madan Mohan, he's come to attract us away from all the sufferings and miseries of existence to the true happiness of the soul. Shri Radha Madan Mohan. They've come. To be attracted takes a lifetime of dedication because we're so distracted. Attractive and distractive. Srila Prabhupada, in this talk, he tells that his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he said he would often say, I am willing to sell all of our properties, if we can get one person to turn toward Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada said, this is our mission. To get people who are deluded by this material existence to turn their face toward Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada said all of our acharyas, their mission was not to build temples, it was to attract people to Krishna. And then he explained, but in order to do that, we build temples. Think about that carefully. It's deep and profound. We're not here to build temples and have properties. We're here to attract people toward Krishna. But we're willing to have temples and properties to attract people toward Krishna. That means we never lose focus of our goal, our purpose, of what pleases Krishna. We find among great acharyas, Sripad Ramanujacharya. He lived just over 1,000 years ago. He appeared. He was a renunciate. He had nothing. But yet, if you go to South India and you see the temples that he and his disciples either had built or had, over the past 1,000 years, are still excellently taken care of. Srirangam, Tirupati, Kanchipuram, Melkote, so many places. Among the most beautiful, largest temples in the world. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was living in Puri, every single morning he would go to Jagannath's temple. And more or less it was the same structure it is today. Magnificent, beautiful stone temple. Lord Chaitanya left his home and his everything to give Krishna to others. But yet he would bring all of his followers to Jagannath's temple every day. And before you leave, Amrita, on Srila Prabhupada's instruction, and I'll rewind after I say this, your mother and father, Ambarish Prabhu and Swaha Devi, are building the temple of Vedic Planetarium. It was one of Srila Prabhupada's primary aims. How much effort. We're not here to build temples, Prabhupada says, but yet, you all know about the TOVP, the Temple of Vedic Planetarium. It's a huge, beautiful, magnificent temple that's taking so many years. Why? To attract more and more and more and more people to Krishna. So happy to see you. Thank you. I'm so happy to see your little children's too. Hare Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would go to Jagannath's temple and spend the whole morning every day. But what was he doing in the temple? He was, by his own example and inviting all the devotees around to learn how to come to the temple, to be attracted by Krishna, to offer our heart, our body, mind, and souls and life for the loving service of the Lord. And he instructed Rupa and Sanatana Goswami, go to Vrindavan. He instructed them to leave everything behind and to go to Vrindavan. And one of the 4 reasons was to reveal the all-attractive nature of Krishna by building temples, teaching devotional service, writing books, extracting the essence of all knowledge and all scriptures, loving devotional service to the Supreme Lord. By excavating and discovering the holy places of Vrindavan to make it a place of pilgrimage, to build temples for the deity form of the Lord, and to exhibit the real principles of yukta vairagya, renunciation, through their own life's examples. And the first temple of Vrindavan is Madan Mohan Temple. Can I tell you a story that happened 502 years ago? In 1502, Rupa and Sanatana Goswami, they left their high government posts to go to Vrindavan to fulfill the mission of the Lord. Now what happened in 1502 is after Lord Chaitanya came to Ramakeli and met Rupa and Sanatana and their brother Anupam, he soon after went back to Jagannath Puri, his residence. And Rupa and Sanatana, they understood the Lord's desires. They wanted to serve him. They were billionaires. They were very famous. They were at the prime of their youth. Materially, they had everything. And certainly they could have remained there and been pure devotees of the Lord. But to assist in this mission of compassion, they had to somehow or other go to Vrindavan. They hired 2 very qualified Brahmins or priests to be constantly doing ceremonies and chanting mantras to attract Krishna, to release them from their worldly obligations. It was during this time that Rupa Goswami and his youngest brother, Anupam, they left Ramakeli and all their royal responsibilities for the king of Bengal. And they went to their homes not too far away to arrange to meet Lord Chaitanya. They sent messengers to Puri to ask, where is Lord Chaitanya? Has he left for Vrindavan yet? Sanatana Goswami did not leave Ramakeli. And just as Madan Mohan is the initial form and bhava of Krishna by which we approach Krishna, similarly Sanatana Goswami is the Sambandha Guru. He teaches through his example and his writings how to establish our relationship with Krishna. So it is described in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita why Sanatana Goswami didn't leave with Rupa Goswami and Anubhav. It's a subtle principle, but it's so deep and so profound. Sanatana Goswami was the chief minister for the whole kingdom. The Nawab, who was the governing king of Bengal, he had affection to Sanatana like his own younger brother. Sanatana Goswami was so expert at everything he did that the king actually very much depended on him. And the word in the Bengali verse is priti. He had so much affection for Sanatana. And he was so pleased with Sanatana. Sanatana Goswami was thinking, as long as the king is pleased with me, then I'm obligated to be here. But if I could somehow or other get him angry with me, and he doesn't have affection, then I could leave. How subtle is this idea of dharma? Such a sensitive principle. Rupa Goswami and the others, they didn't have that same affectionate, being pleased relationship. But Sanatana would not leave as long as he was pleased with me. Do you all know what happened next? He could have just left. It would have been so easy. But he had such human relationship character. He stayed home and sent his secretaries to rule the whole kingdom. And he sent a message that his health was not good. But the king needed him. Sanatana Goswami, while his secretaries, they were really happy. In fact, Srila Prabhupada names the person who took his position was named Purandar Khan. And they really wanted that post because you have so much power and so much fame and such wealth. So while they were ruling everything, Sanatana was sitting at home with 20 or 30 Brahmin scholars studying Srimad Bhagavatam. Day after day after day. One day, the door opened. The Nawab Hussain Shah rushes in with one assistant to see what's happening, why Sanatana is not here. He sees him. Actually, when he came in, the king, everybody stood up to greet him. out of respect. Because by God's grace, he had that position. The Nawab was furious. He said, I had already sent a doctor to give you a checkup. And he came back and said, there's nothing wrong with your health. You're just sitting around with all these Brahmins studying scriptures. Now get back to your duties. And now, the Nawab was not pleased with him. He was angry with him. He wasn't showing affection toward him. So then Sanatan could come out and say, I'm not coming back. I resign from all my royal responsibilities. And he was put in prison. And then the king went to the prison and told Sanatan, I'm going out to conquer other lands. Come with me. Sanatan said, you are causing harm to others. Therefore, the Supreme Personality of Godhead does not want me to come with you. So he put him in shackles. Of the story, it's in the Madhya Lila of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. But there he is, he's a prisoner. And for those of you who have gone to Ramakeli, it's still there. It's a wonderful holy place on the bank of the Ganges River, just near the Bihar and Bengal border. And there's still the prison that Sanatan Goswami was shackled. It's just an underground dungeon. He left all the royalty of his magnificent palaces and estates to be there because he was attracted to Krishna. How can you give up all that and endure such difficulties unless there's really an attraction to Krishna? And what was his attraction to Krishna? It wasn't to enjoy Krishna. His attraction was to serve Krishna, to please Krishna, who appeared as Lord Chaitanya. And when Sanatan Goswami was living in Vrindavan, Srila Prabhupada tells story that one time there was a thief. And in those days, thieves were really thieves. There wasn't too many subtleties about being a thief in those days. It was your adharma. So this thief happened to be, looking for opportunities, and he happened to come upon some great devotees speaking from Srimad Bhagavatam, and they were talking about Krishna, who was a little boy. Actually, this happened at the time of Krishna. This was a 5,000-year-old story. The story of Sanatan being put in prison was 502 years ago. 522 years ago. But way back at Krishna's time, they were describing how Krishna's a little boy. He's just overhearing. And his limbs are so tender and soft. And he's so playful. And so dependent on his mother, Yashoda. And he has beautiful lotus eyes and a complexion like a monsoon cloud. Just very auspicious today. We can get some reminder. And he has a peacock feather in his hair. And he's wearing beautiful. His mother puts on him every day bangles and necklaces made out of beautiful jewels. So he's thinking, and the little boy goes to the forest every day and spends the day in the forest. So he's thinking, such jewels on a little boy who's in the forest. This is like the ultimate robbery, and so easy. So he's just listening more, and he finds out the forest is called Vrindavan. So he goes to Vrindavan, and he's searching everywhere. And he comes to a little clearing in the forest, and Krishna, small little child, Gokul Mahaban, he's all alone. And he sees the description. But the amazing thing is the whole way he was traveling to Vrindavan, he was meditating on remembering what the boy looks like. So he was in constant remembrance of this. He didn't know who this Gopal was. And he was wearing all those jewels. So seeing how innocent and charming little Gopal was, the thief didn't want to hurt him. He said, "Please give me all your jewels." And Krishna said, "No." He's a big dacoit. He said, "Give me your jewels." "Why won't you give me your jewels?" And Gopal said, "Because my mother put them on me. She'll get angry with me if I come home without them." So he's arguing with Gopal. And Gopal's smiling and just speaking sweet words. "How could I? My mother will punish me if I lose these jewels, so I can't give them to you." And in the process of debating with Krishna, he became attracted because he was thinking of Krishna. He was chanting Krishna's names all the way there in remembrance. And he surrendered his life. One name of Krishna is Hari, which means he steals our hearts, he steals our minds, he steals our lives by his love, his compassion, and his limitless charm. But how does Hari steal? When our hearts become attracted to Krishna. An ordinary thief has to take everything away from you, yes? Usually a thief comes at night or with some weapon or something to steal everything away from you. But when somebody becomes attracted to Krishna, they voluntarily, their greatest joy in life is to give him everything we have. Our body, our mind, our souls, our actions, our words, our thoughts, all of our knowledge, all of our intelligence, all of our wealth, all of our influence, everything. Have you ever heard of a thief like that? Have you ever heard of a thief who comes to your home in the middle of the night and you wake up and spontaneous and ecstatic love, you say, everything is yours. Just be pleased with me forever. This is the type of Hari thief Krishna is. When he steals our hearts, then we willingly surrender everything to Krishna for Krishna's pleasure. So the thief, he became an eternal loving associate of Krishna simply by remembering Krishna. So this is Madan Mohan. And along with Madan Mohan is Srimati Radharani. Her name is Hare, which means she steals, he who steals everything from everyone. Krishna steals, Krishna's Manmohan. He attracts everyone's minds. But Sri Radharani is Madan Mohan Mohini. She attracts Krishna's mind. She attracts Krishna's heart. Srila Prabhupada describes in Vrindavan when we become a servant of the servant of Sri Radha. Sri Radha approaches Krishna, and from her heart she speaks that this devotee who's serving my servants, this devotee is better than me. Please accept them. And she means it. And because Krishna is so Hari, is so attracted by Hare, that he will accept us. So Srila Prabhupada has brought Madan Mohan here to Potomac, Maryland. To Washington, D.C. to attract our hearts. And also establish Hanuman, Lakshman, Sita, and Rama. Sri Radharani and Sri Krishna are Gopa Gopi, cowherd boy and cowherd girl. Krishna's playing his flute to attract our hearts. And Sri Radharani is constantly offering all of our sincere efforts in devotional service. She's personally offering them to Krishna, to our Guru Parampara, and blessing us. Ram and Sita, they are the same supreme personality of Godhead, the same absolute truth, but who have come Rajram in the mood of royalty, the king and the queen. And Lord Ramchandra and Sita, for the sake of Dharma, they were willing not only willing, but they were happy to live in the forest, wearing only tree bark, eating only the roots and herbs of trees, whatever fruits were growing, for 14 14 years. Such an example. Such leadership, such character. And when Ravana kidnapped Sita in a place called Panchavati or Nasik. It's one of the holiest parts of India today, where Kumbh Mela takes place every 12 years. Ravana brought Sita to his kingdom. A kingdom that is like no other. The buildings were made of solid gold. Now today, if somebody's extraordinarily wealthy, they put some gold leaf in their homes. Or maybe have some gold chandeliers. But he actually built palaces out of solid gold. It was a place of enormous wealth. When there was the Battle of Sri Lanka, where Ram wanted to bring Sita back, Ravana was not willing to do it. And with all of his armies and all of his forces, he was fighting to keep Sita. Hanuman was fighting harder than Ravana. For only one purpose, to give Sita to Ram. Where did Hanuman live? If any of you have been to a holy place called Kishkinda Kshetra or Hampi, he lived in a cave because he had the form of a celestial monkey. So sometimes people think, if you don't have any desire for material gain, material sense gratification, if you're not there to achieve it or to defend it, then what's your motivating force? Ravana was defending a golden kingdom to enjoy Sita, the supreme goddess of fortune. And Hanuman was fighting even more, not to get anything except to give Sita to Ram. Samsadhyaradidoshana. Sometimes we talk about Hanuman and we like to do asanas like Hanuman and like that. Or we like to tell stories to our children about Hanuman, which is good. But actually, who is Hanuman? This is the principle. He would jump across oceans. He would carry mountains. He would endure his body being filled with arrows. Relentlessly, with full determination. So that Ram can enjoy Sita, and Sita could enjoy Ram. That's at the very heart of the glory of Hanuman. This is the spirit of surrender. He was willing to do everything and anything. The greatest of all materialists, who was working so hard at utilizing all of his resources, his intelligence, his powers, everything, to enjoy and to protect his enjoyment. Hanuman was doing even more for the pleasure of Ram, so that Krishna would. And in one beautiful part of Ramayana, Ram embraces Hanuman. He says, I'm living in the forest. I can never repay you for what you're doing for my Sita. I have nothing. I'm living in tree bark in a cave. The only thing I have is myself. And then he embraced. Hanuman, I offer you myself. That is infinitely more valuable than millions of palaces of gold in Sri Lanka. Infinitely more valuable than power and fame and the greatest types of sensual enjoyment. Because bhakti, devotional service, attracts the all-attractive. And our great acharyas throughout history have built these beautiful temples as homes where those who want to be the children of Radha and Krishna, the children of Lakshmi, Narayan, Sita and Ram, could come together. To progress in devotional service. To have facilities where we can attract other people to devotional service. I probably went over time. But I'll end real soon. And at one time, our beloved founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada, he describes that actually we don't need temples. When we're attracted to Krishna, we could be happy living in a palace or living under a tree. King Prataparudra lived in a palace. Kolavecha Sridhar lived in a little straw hut under a tree. But they were both on the same level of loving devotional service to the Lord. Srila Prabhupada said, in the world that we know today, who will come to hear us if we're sitting under a tree? So these are educational centers, cultural centers, where we could recognize that Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan are the supreme goal of life. And we are eternally loving servants of the Lord. And in the form of the deity, Radha Madan Mohan are inviting all of us. Years ago, I was a pujari, and I remember hearing Srila Prabhupada say, anyone who comes to the temple, you should think that this person has been invited by Krishna. So many lost children. It's a community center for those who are devotees to come together to hear and chant the glories of the Lord and serve the Lord. And it's a place to attract the children who have forgotten, to remind. And Gornitai, they've come to teach by their own example how to love Krishna, how to attract Krishna by our devotion. And when Krishna is attracted by our devotion, what happens is Krishna reveals himself and we become attracted to Krishna. And then that reciprocal attraction is an eternal reality between the soul and God. Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, Krishna Balaram, Lord Chaitanya's Radha and Krishna, they have come to teach by their example the supreme opportunity that each and every one of us has. These are just some thoughts that are spontaneously going through my little mind as I'm sitting in this magnificent temple of Sri Sri Radha Madan Mohan. I congratulate you and I thank you. I'm sorry if I don't know all the names, but of course Ananda Vrindavan, Ishwari Devi, and Braj Bihari Prabhu, and all of you who have contributed in one way or another, through your prayers, through your chanting. I'll tell you one more story. (1972 or 1). I was living on the Sarayu River bank in Ayodhya. This is before I became a devotee in ISKCON and all of that. So I was studying Ramayana, and I was living on a river bank, and I was going to the holy places of Ayodhya where Ram and Sita had their pastimes long ago. And I heard about Ram's birthplace. So I was very eager to go there. I was expecting a magnificent temple. When I arrived, there were thick barbed wire fences. And you couldn't get beyond the fence. And on the other side of the fence, there was military soldiers with rifles, bayonets, hand grenades, a lot of them. It was really a disputed place. You couldn't go in. And some distance inside, I saw this old temple of another religion that was just abandoned. Nobody was allowed in anywhere. And I was wondering, what is this? And there was nobody around, because who wants to go on pilgrimage to a place like that? There was about 10 sadhus, old holy men. They were all, I think, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. I was just 20 years old at the time. And I was sitting with them and they were chanting. And they were chanting with such fervent devotion, just sitting having kirtan. So I was chanting with them because I was so attracted by their association and their cause, whatever it was. And none of them spoke English. Somebody gave me a little piece of paper, actually two. One described the history of the place. It was a place of great dispute between religious intercommunal conflict. And it describes that the Indian government will not allow anybody inside except the military. So one sadhu, he wasn't famous. He didn't have many disciples. But he vowed that until a temple of Ram is there, and until Ram devotees are free to come and worship Ram in his birthplace, that he and all of his descendants will chant the holy names in Kirtan 24 hours a day without stop. And that Kirtan started in 1949. And it never stopped for a moment. And the second pamphlet described in brief summary the history and said, more or less it said, the sadhus are hungry. They don't go anywhere because they're always in Kirtan. They were appealing to all Shri Radha Madan Mohan Ji ki jai. They were appealing to all pious Hindus throughout the entire world to donate to feeding the sadhus in the Kirtan. There were only 12 of them. And it said on the pamphlet, it costs us 900 rupees a month. How many dollars is that now? Something like that. 900 rupees a month. And when I was there with the sadhus, because, they would chant, and when it was time to sleep, they would just sleep on the ground next to the kirtan because they had to just be shifting. And every now and then they'd stop, and there was just dry rotis and dal. And the sadhus, I was informed at the time that even with that appeal, they could never get, from the international community of Hindus, they could never get 900 rupees a month. Today I heard a tape of Srila Prabhupada recording. He said, we are trying to bring Krishna consciousness to the world. But even if nobody comes, we are happy because we're trying. These sadhus were really in that mood. They're chanting 24 hours a day, practically no food, from 1949, and they continued until earlier this year when a Ram temple was opened. One of our very dear friends, his name is Harivamsa. He's a member of parliament. He's actually from the place called Jharikanda, where Lord Chaitanya danced and made tigers and elephants devotees. in Kirtan. When I showed him that pamphlet and told him the story, with tears in his eyes, he said, this temple was primarily built by those sadhus. As far as I know, of all the sadhus who were in that kirtan, none of them are still alive. They lived and died to bring Ram's mercy to the people of the world. When Srila Prabhupada left Vrindavan, I was living in Butler, Pennsylvania, and the Bowery of New York City. There was no sign that any success would be there. But still, let me try. For so many years, I've been hearing about building a new temple here. And now it is built. Reciprocate with the mercy that is descending upon us, and all of the sacrifices and prayers of those who have helped make this possible. And how do we reciprocate? At one time, devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, how could we repay you for this great thing you have given us? Srila Prabhupada gave an eternal instruction. Just receive it by practicing and share it with others. So I pray to Shri Radha Madan Mohanji, Srila Prabhupada, Gaurnitai, Hanuman, Lakshman, Ram and Sita, that all of you may find supreme blessings, shelter in Krishna's love here at Radha Madan Mohan's temple. You may find joy in chanting their holy names together, hearing from Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita together, serving the holy deities together, and spreading this wonderful mission together. Srila Prabhupada one time said, he said it many times actually, the goal and purpose of all the knowledge of all the scriptures is one phrase: let all beings be happy. Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Thank you very much.
On behalf of ISKCON of DC, we want to gratefully thank His Holiness Radhanath Swami for kindly giving us this association this evening. Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. And now there is some wonderful prasadam awaiting for the devotees downstairs. So please partake of the prasad and have a wonderful evening. And thank you so much for coming. Hare Krishna.
Yes.